Hi guys, how are you? So we're sitting here at the dealership and we decided that while we wait, we might as well give you guys a little video vlog. So today we're gonna give you the story that we been should have gave y'all a couple days ago. I know we said, I know, but you know things come up and we weren't able to do so. So while we waiting for our estimate for this car accident that we got into, somebody hit us from behind. Here's the story. So I'm telling you guys about the story about how I came out to my family, and Dale's then gonna give you her story. I'm gonna make it short. So basically, my parents was asking around, asking my friends. They used to always ask my friends. I guess, I started to switch up on them. I still was dressing in things that they put me in, so they weren't really able to tell. So,
She was faking it.
and then, when I would go out with my cousins, I would switch my clothes up or whatever, or I started slowly transitioning out of fitted stuff and started getting into more lucid things and stuff like that. So, like I said, they was asking my friends around or whatever the situation is, and my friends would slowly come to me like, yo, your parents, they keep asking me if you gay. So every time somebody asked a question, we would always, brush it off, or I would act like it didn't bother me or whatever, but low-key I would be upset. So one day I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna tell my moms in a letter, because I ain't gonna hold you. I was very scared to come out to my parents because, we grew up in the church and everything was so structured and church oriented. And my parents always used to talk this, oh, you better not be gay, and, always preaching about something. So it was a little bit hard for me to come out, even though I tried the God thing, it just didn't work for me. So with that being said, I proceeded to write this letter. I wrote this letter, put the letter inside of my mom's bag, thinking that, while she's at work or something along those lines and going through her bag, she'll actually see, this letter, read it, and I wouldn't have to come out and say anything face to face. We would just deal with it then. So the whole day goes by. My mother did not read this letter. She didn't call me. I'm like, what's going on, yo? Like, I know she gotta have read this letter by now. So I called my mom, and when I called her, she's like, nah, she didn't read the letter. So I'm like, read the letter. But it was funny because she's in the car with my dad. So she reads the letter, and she calls me back, and she's crying, and she's like, yeah, I read the letter, but your dad was in the car with me, and he asked me what's wrong. Now, initially, I gave her this letter because I felt like I could let her read the letter. We can discuss it, and then my father could get involved later. But apparently, that's just not how things were supposed to go. So I let her read this letter. She calls me back. She's crying. They talk about they had to have a talk with me. The dreadful talk. So, long story short, I meet up with my parents. They sit me down at the table. We having this all-out conversation about, oh, what made you do this? Did somebody break your heart? And at first I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know what to tell them because it's just me. So I'm like, yeah, I don't like dudes or whatever. And I made it seem like it was one of those somebody broke my heart situations. But in all reality, it's just me. It's what I like. I always had an attraction to females. I just never understood it. And I went with I was supposed to know. So with that being said, we had this conversation, and then my father got upset, and he's on his shit like, oh, don't ask me for nothing, I'm not taking care of you, I'm not giving you nothing. So I said, you know what, that's cool. So what I did was I moved out the house, and when I moved out, they thought shit was a game, and they stopped talking to me for a while. But then after a while, my father started slowly calling me like, you need something, this, that, the third. And then I finally let them meet my first girlfriend. Disaster. They blamed everything on her. They made it seem like it was all her fault, when in all reality she had nothing to do with shit. She was just an innocent bystander. So after a while things got better, but that's my little coming out story. Now things are better. They see I'm still the same person. Things ain't changed much.
They love me.
Yeah, and so now, things is better. So that's my coming out story for y'all.
That's my mommy now.